So in September, I'm going on a trip to Disney World. I'm very excited. I'm pumped about it. And to prepare myself for this trip, I've been going back and rewatching every single animated Disney movie, starting all the way back at the beginning with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I watched it a couple of weeks ago. It's a fine movie. It holds up. But there is something that I've learned about this movie that I cannot get out of my head. And it has to do with these seven dwarfs. So there's seven of them, right? And all of their names kind of have to do with their personalities. And we don't really find out an origin for this, like if they were born with these names and it became like their destiny. Like Sneezy, their mom was like, you're Sneezy, and that will be what you do forever. Or if they got these names later in life, and their real names are like Greg and Bug. So we got seven dwarfs. Their names are Doc, Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, Bashful, Sneezy, and Dopey. We know them. We recognize these names. Of course, iconic. But did you know that there's a whole ridiculous list of possible dwarf names that they were thinking of using? This list is insane. Here are the names that they might have used for dwarves. And just try to picture what these dwarves would have been like. You got Silly. Oh, that's fine. Silly. Sappy, Scrappy, Snappy. What is Snappy? What's his deal? Does he dress nice or is he just like, the most annoying dwarf? Snoopy. And then you've got Goopy. Goopy dwarf? Hey, what's goopy about him? Hey, what about him is so goopy? Where's the goop coming from? What do the other dwarfs like him? I don't want to hang out with a goopster. Ugh, Goopy. Is he friendly? Goopy. Does the goop get on everything? What is the goop coming from? And why? How is it so prominent in who he is that it's the one characteristic that everyone knows about him is that he's got nonstop goop? How does that work? What is Goopy? I hate Goopy. Gloomy, emo dwarf. Gaspy, asthma dwarf. Flabby. Hey Disney, quit fat shaming these dwarves. Crabby, cranky, lazy, dizzy, dippy, awful. That just it seems like they didn't even try. Like the one dwarf that everybody hates. Like everyone else has a fun, charming nickname, but that guy's just awful. That guy sucks. Graceful, female dwarf, or maybe, I don't know. Where are those? Why don't we have any female dwarfs? What would those look like? Like what would they be like? I'm trying to like be casual about it because I don't want it to come across like in a pervy way. Like, I don't know, someone draw me some female dwarves. Like what would those look like? What would I have to look up to like find? I don't mean it like that. I don't. But I feel like the more I try to convince you, the less convincing I sound. But I promise, I don't care about no female dwarves. Thrifty, cheap dwarf. Nifty, ooh, is so cool. Hickey, just the dwarf that's always making out. Busy, burpy, baldy, Biggie Wiggy. No, thank you. Biggie Wiggy. Biggie Wiggy. And then finally, Big O Ego. Another one that sucks. I feel like they picked the best ones out of these. I'm angry but curious about Goopy. I want to know more about what Goopy's deal would have been, but at the same time, I'm like grossed out by it, and I'm sure it's a good idea that Goopy was not involved because I can't even imagine like what would a Goopy like character at the Disney like you see the other seven dwarfs like walking around the Disney parks, like the giant costumes, like what would a costume of Goopy look like? It wouldn't be good. Whatever you're picturing, make it 10 times grosser. That's what I have in my mind. Who is Goopy? What is Goopy's deal? www.tellmeaboutgoopy.com. That's a new website I'm going to be starting. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Maybe it's a conspiracy. I want to know more about Goopy. You know what? The more I think about it, I kind of love Goopy. He's a little bit of an underdog. He doesn't fit in with the rest of them. He's not clean, and it's not his fault. Or is it? We don't know. At this point, the goop is a mystery that must be solved. So I guess like, what's your favorite out of that list? What's your favorite dwarf name? Or what's a dwarf name that you can think of that's even worse than the ones that I listed? What could be worse than Goopy? Try to beat that. All the dwarves have beds in the same room, but Goopy has to sleep on the roof.